People in hospital are already at their most vulnerable, without having to be subjected to unhealthy and unappetising food.
All people want is just good food.
I believe that good, nutritious food not only lifts the spirits of the patients confined to our hospital wards, but it can be a medicine as well. Patients in our hospitals are simply not getting the food that they deserve.
The food's awful.
Tasteless.
Atrocious. Quite bland.
In a recent survey, a third of people asked described the food as unacceptable, and nearly a quarter of patients wouldn't eat it, instead relying on food brought in by family and friends. £50 million have been spent over the last decade to improve the quality of our hospital food, but so far there's been little sign of improvement. I want to find out why, and took up the challenge to bring healthy, tasty food to the wards of Scarborough General Hospital, while sticking to very tight budgets. We're getting the price of what we want it to be.
Yeah.
And it's under £3.49. We slashed an astonishing amount of wastage. I was shocked to find, 40% of what we served today for lunch just goes in the bin. Patients who previously been turning away their food are now looking forward to meal times.
And the food's excellent.
No complaints whatsoever.
And the soups now are brilliant.
Revamping food available for staff and visitors has brought in new cash flow and made the restaurant a destination. And changing buying practices has even meant a shot in the arm for local suppliers, bringing investment into the area. So I've proved it could be done. Now the challenge is to try and bring about change across the rest of the UK. I'm not trying to create a Michelin star meal, but what I am trying to create is good, simple food. Every year the NHS spends a whopping £300 million on food that unfortunately many patients just don't want to eat. It's estimated that around £26 million worth of food gets thrown in a bin. Over the last decade, successive governments have spent over £50 million on failed initiatives to improve hospital food. Appalled by their lack of progress, I embarked on a mission to try and succeed where others have failed, and find a model that would see nutritious meals served to patients without increasing stretched NHS budgets. I cannot tell you how annoyed I am with this. 365 days a year, this is waste. I knew that this would be a massive task, but I found that some simple business common sense and encouragement of demoralised staff can bring about huge change. Is that cooking?
No.
What do you want?
I'll say soup. I wouldn't mind doing that whatsoever.
The team at Scarborough General Hospital took up the challenge I set them and proved that real practical change is possible. Now I want to roll this out to other hospitals around the country. It changed so much, and I think, looking at it, we can still make a massive difference to the bigger picture. I'm launching this next stage of my campaign here at the Royal Orthopaedic Hospital in Birmingham. In 2009, a vicious fire ripped through the kitchen and restaurant. But with a brand new kitchen and equipment, this hospital's catering department should be firing on all cylinders. Not so. Because the one thing the patients and staff say lets the hospital down is the food.
We thought it was a joke to start with.
Mushy and tasteless.
It was all hard. The pastry wasn't cooked enough.
Most of them haven't been cold. Then it deteriorated.
And for this catering team, it's personal. If things don't improve, the way that the food is prepared will totally change, and they're likely to be made redundant. The fact of the matter is, if they don't get this right, they're out of a job. Well, here goes. I don't know what to expect, to be honest, but having spent 4 months at Scarborough, I doubt it can get any worse. Is Gaz anywhere? You Gaz?
Yeah.
Hi there. Hello, James, nice to meet you. You'll be...
Okay.
What's your name? Vicky. So this is a new kitchen?
Yeah, a new kitchen.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
It took its time getting here, but it's all right, yeah.
So who's the head chef then?
Tracy.
Tracy.
Turkey.
She's in Turkey?
Till today.
Right, okay. She's on holiday then?
Yeah, all right, good.
You've got brand new pans and brand new equipment to start, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah.
And how many people have you got in the team then? How many people work with you?
We've got about, 5, 6 chefs?
Five.
5? How long have you worked here?
10 years.
And you don't know how many people are in the kitchen?
It changes all the time.
It's a good start, isn't it? Right. How many people are you doing a day?
Oh, we've got about 100 odd patients, and you could say the same for about staff and visitors.
That's breakfast, lunch and dinner?
Yeah.
So explain to me how it all works then. So breakfast is...
Well, breakfast, the patients tend to have cereals and toast and stuff to get that on the ward. Then for lunch, we just send a bulk amount up, and they take pretty much what they want off that.
And what about for the restaurant then? Do you cater for that as well?
We do separate things for the restaurant.
Right. And who decides the menu then?
It tends to be Tracy. We've got it on a set menu.
Right.
We change it sometimes.
But we can change it sometimes.
Okay. Well, that's a positive thing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
so we've changed it today from Kievs to mushrooms, but we're giving them 3 choices instead of 2.
Kievs, so those are those frozen things that are over there?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Gives on mushrooms.
Homemade by someone else.
Yeah, pre-made by somebody else and then placed in the freezer. In fact, that's not the norm. Around 80% of the food here is freshly prepared on site, which is a good start. The trouble is, they have no clue how many they're supposed to be catering for. It's all guesswork. How do you know how many people you got for lunch? Where's that part? Where is it?
We phone the wards up and they'll tell us how many patients.
You phone the ward?
And then we'll send up enough meals for that amount of patients. We don't know exactly individually what they want. Decide that on the ward. They'll ask the patient what they want. We used to.
Back in the day, they used to pick what they wanted, but they took it off.
Who took it off?
Every patient used to have a menu and they'd tick off what they wanted, so they got exactly what they wanted, but they took it off.
Who took it off?
So sometimes you'll get a phone call saying, well, we haven't got enough of this, enough of that, and we can't provide it for them.
So basically, in theory, you're just cooking, you don't know who you're cooking for, how many people you're cooking for. You're just cooking and send it up.
In theory, yeah.
Well, that's the first problem then, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It seems crazy and a false economy to have stopped handing out menus. The kitchen staff is just taking a stab at how many dishes they need to cook, and that's clearly going to lead to horrendous waste if they guess wrong.
Oh yeah, it's the kitchen. Hello. Can I have the numbers, please? 23. Any special requirements? Okie dokie. Right, that's great. Cheers. Bye. Yeah, so this ward's full up.
Right.
So we'll probably just send, about 15 lamb hot pots?
Right.
About 6 to 8 pasta, and it'll be topped up with sandwiches.
The decision to remove the ordering system was made around 5 years ago by the management team in place at the time, as it was felt that it wasn't working efficiently. But in my experience, that the way that working now can only lead to one thing: waste.
Can I have the numbers, please? 20 at the minute. So you might be full. So shall I put you down for 24 then? 23.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
At the moment, they've only got 20 patients, and they're not sure how many more is going to come in, but I've got to send even more food up there. It's more waste.
How did this used to happen before? They used to phone down?
No, before, we'd...
have a menu?
Patients would have a menu, which they'd have the day before, tick it up, comes on the computer, exactly what they've ordered, every patient.
When's been this problem with waste?
We barely had any waste before.
You didn't have any waste?
Oh, barely.
I've only been at Birmingham for a matter of hours, and already I can see where they're going wrong. They've been busy cooking here since 7 a.m, but the kitchen team has no idea how many patients they're catering for, or what any of them want to eat. To make matters worse, the team has been told unless they can turn things around, they'll all be replaced by an external company who would cook the patients' meals off-site. That sort of food is usually called cooked chill, and if it comes here, it will make the team's kitchens and jobs obsolete. I've heard a rumour about this. This is a big threat for you guys, isn't it, really?
Massive.
Because you've got a new kitchen.
Constantly being brought up now. We've been told to up our game.
Or cooked chill, which means that fundamentally some of you are out of work. Is that right?
Yes, you've got the possibility of it, yeah.
But that's what it, realistically, that's what it would mean.
Well, you won't need us cooking, so yeah.
It's obvious that the constant threat of losing their jobs is massively affecting morale within the kitchen. I grabbed a moment with Vicky to find out more.
We never get any positive back, it's always negative.
When was the last time somebody said anything positive to you? In here?
Last week, telling us that you were coming. Honest to God, we had this sudden staff meeting. We've got news. We was like, James Martin's coming. Oh, right, sound.
So how long have you been here then?
17 years.
17 years you've been here?
Yeah.
And how have you seen it change over the years?
It's not like it used to be.
But you've got a new kitchen, you've got a new...
It's not about your kitchen. It's about...
It's about in here, isn't it?
Saving money and...
You can still have fresh veg, you can still have all that and save money.
That's what we need.
The difference is to me, there's just no communication in here. None.
There is when we do something wrong.
There is when you do something wrong.
Great communication. Absolutely the best.
I get the sense that the team has been low and demoralised for a long time. On the surface, they have everything they need, but from what I'm hearing, it seems that there's no structure, poor communication, and they feel like every day is a battle. Well, we've got new fridges. I mean, let's face it, any chef would be happy with this. It surprised me, though. You can feel that attitude in the kitchen. You can feel that can't be bothered. So I've not mixed together with just demoralised, just stuck in a rut. Which is a shame, because they've got all the stuff, You've got massive stockroom. Packet soups everywhere. When you've got a stockroom like this, you've got new equipment. You almost think it's the opposite to Scarborough in a way. But because of that, I think, for me, to be honest, I think it's even more hard work, this one, because just a massive lack of communication. Half of it's not even the kitchen, it's the wards, it's everything else. It's just It's common sense. You know, surely if you start work at 7 o'clock in the morning, surely you know roughly how many people you want to cook for. We'll wait and see. I've got a suspicion that guessing the numbers they're catering for is just one of the reasons why I keep hearing that so much of the food seems to get thrown in the bin. And it can't help that I haven't seen any of the chefs following a written recipe for any of the dishes they're cooking, or weighing out any ingredients. Which means they have no idea if they're using the right amounts. Right, now I've just seen you made that. How much have you got?
But portion-wise,
You haven't measured it?
there's no way of measuring it.
Yeah, of course there is. You've basically taken custard powder out of there.
Yeah.
You've taken milk powder out of there, sugar out of there. You haven't measured it. I reckon I've got about 10 litres of custard still sat in there.
10 litres?
Yep. I reckon I could add milk to that, and you've just poured in double cream into that. So you haven't got a clue how much you made.
No. But I will split that up, and
Yeah,
bet
but
we'll all go.
If we're on about costings, right, the fundamental thing is about costings, and you haven't measured, and you don't know how much custard you've actually made, then how can I help you? If I hadn't spotted that, that would have got thrown in the bin, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's 5 litres custard for lunch, 5 litres for dinner, it's 10 litres, 365 days a year.
Yeah, adds up.
10 grand.
Well, I'm going to dish this up.
Yeah, but have a think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to think. You just put double cream in there as well.
Yeah.
Does any need to put double cream in there?
No, but I mean, you get a better flavour out of it.
If you just put double cream in there, and that's £2 of the double cream you just put in, times by 365 days a year, times by 2, it's £1,000.
But
That's 11 grand I've saved, been here 2 minutes
just on cream.
on custard. So for the last 10 years, we've had no recipes to make anything. So you've done all on guesswork.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's your problem. There's your problem.
Tore me apart there on a bit of mustard.
Unbelievable. Am I totally mad? Because I can see it, and I ain't been in here 10 years. I've been here, well, it's 10:30. I started at 7 o'clock, so 3.5 hours. The fact of the matter is, if they don't get this right, they're out of a job. It's plain and simple. Who the hell's in charge? You've got no ordering system. You've got certainly no order when it comes to ordering food for IE suppliers. No recipes to work off. Nothing. And you don't know how many you're cooking for. Yeah, honest to God, it is all over the place. My chefs would kill for a kitchen like that and the equipment that they've got. It comes down to the fact that I can teach people how to cook, but I can't teach people how to care. You know, and if they don't care, just does my head in. It's hard to believe that the team here don't understand why they need to follow recipes that set out the quantities they should be using. Especially someone like Gaz, who's been here 10 years. It's so basic, they're wasting huge amounts of money needlessly. And of course, all the issues I'm seeing have a direct effect on the most important people in the hospital, the patients.
Are you hungry? Nice hot pot, beef potato and gravy.
I'm having pasta.
You're having the pasta? Okay.
Hi there, ladies.
Hiya.
You've got your own private room, innit? Right
Yeah,
there.
yes.
How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, fine.
What's your name?
Lynn.
Lynn.
Yeah.
How are you, Lynn? Are you recovering or are
Yeah,
you...
recovery, going home today.
From what?
Total hip replacement.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
Is that both sides, the hip replacement?
I've had that one done last year. This one I've got this year.
Should have got 2 for the price of 1,
Well,
you
I've got
see.
4 because I've got 2 new knees as well.
So you had a full MOT then, haven't you, really? And how's it been?
It's been fine, the medical-wise, but the food's awful. I haven't eaten a proper meal, really.
Since you've been here?
They brought cheese and crackers to me because I hadn't eaten anything. So my family brought sandwiches in to me.
But you've got this...
Yeah, I haven't tasted it yet because you were coming.
Well, go on, try it. I haven't made it. I've only been here for a few hours.
It looks chewy because there's a lot of fat on there.
Don't like it?
No. It's just not appetising to look at. It's just, you know...
What time are you leaving?
About 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
And my husband's giving me a look.
Anyway,
Nice to meet
glad
you.
you're feeling
Thank
better.
you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
How long have you been in for?
Since Friday.
Since Friday. And the food?
Atrocious would be a good word.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that lets the whole hospital down is the food. There isn't any choice. I don't think you get 5 veg a day. 5 veg a day routine doesn't exist. I think if you're gluten-free or if you've got any allergies or anything, there's no choice for that either.
Yeah. So you generally get whatever's left, or is that...
You just get what's on the menu, which is like 2 choices or so, which I don't think is sufficient.
Improvements really for you would be choice, would that be it?
Yeah, I shouldn't be eating bread, but I've ended up eating a lot of bread.
So you shouldn't be eating bread, but you've had to eat bread because there's nothing else to eat. Right, I've got my work cut out here then, haven't I, really? Take care.
Thank you.
It's so sad to hear patients saying that they haven't eaten a proper meal and that friends and family have to bring food in for them. Surely it's not too much to ask for a well-prepared, appetising meal when you're recuperating. Food hygiene policy stipulates that once the food has gone up to the wards, it can't be served to anybody else, even if it's been untouched, as it may be contaminated, so it has to be thrown away. So we have to make sure that all the food that goes up is eaten. And I need to see for myself just how much food is going into the bin. This is 2 wards? Yeah. I thought this was a whole lot.
No, there we go. This is
Another 2 wards. Got a lot of custard, haven't we? I can't believe this. I'm just showing you. This, I cannot tell you how annoyed I am with this. This is every day, 365 days a year. This is waste. Thrown in the bin. And this is only a drop in the ocean of what we have here. Another one. See, bear in mind, right, this is a small hospital. We're not talking about a massive hospital. This has got 4, maybe 5 wards, all right? I reckon this is more than half the food that was sent up there. And these guys make this fresh every day. You know, it's no wonder they're demoralised, is it, really? More custard. This has never been touched then, has it?
That's 2 each on each ward.
That's never been touched?
No.
But it's going to go in the bin?
Yep. We're going in the bin.
I knew there was a waste issue at this hospital, but I never imagined that so much food was literally being thrown in the bin every day. I can't ignore this. I need to give the team a wake-up call to show them just how serious this is. Now, am I right in thinking this is the first time you guys have seen this?
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it?
How does that make you feel? You made it. You were making it all. It's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah. What a waste.
Heartbreaking. Between 40 and 50% of everything you're making every day is thrown in the bin.
I like gravy.
Eh? I like gravy,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of the hot pots.
These are gallon containers.
Maybe they just wasn't having a gravy day.
You weren't having a gravy day.
They wasn't having a gravy day.
Eh? They weren't having a pea day for the latest things, or a pasta day. You know, do it once a week. Have a go at it once a week. It'd be quite interesting to find out what you see. The menu will solve a lot of this.
Yeah.
But also, scales and measuring and recipes and stuff like that will solve a lot of it at our end. So, from this moment on, forwards. The key to implementing any change in this hospital is convincing the people who control the purse strings. And here at Birmingham, that's Head of Facilities, Emma Bridge. In you go. Right, if I told you this was just the waste I could salvage, there was more than this.
So there's more gone in the...
There's more gone in there. This is just what I could get hold of. This is from 4 wards only. Now this was going to go in the swill.
Wow.
You've got 5 of them that have never been touched.
Yep.
You've probably got about 3 of the 6 hot pots that were made.
Yep.
Never been touched. I don't know what that weighs, but what do you reckon? 3 kilo?
Well, there's more than awards with the peas on there.
Well, it's 3 kilos probably of frozen
Yeah.
peas. You've probably got nigh on 15 litres of custard. All that is gravy, and that's more like a shot pot. Probably 10 kilos.
So with all this food on the table, how many people do you think we'd feed?
50.
2 wards. Wow.
So really, we're cooking for 150 people when we should be cooking for 100, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want some for lunch?
No. You're all right. I'll pass on that one. Thank you very much.
Sure I can't tempt you?
No, you're all right. Thank you.
I've seen enough to know what my first step here has to be. I'm calling the team together to set them a task.
Oh, God, we're going to get told off again.
Right, everybody here? I've been in here 3.5 hours-ish, and I've seen lots of things. Fundamentally, we've all got to work as a team to make it better, right? And the only way that we can possibly do that is if we have some form of food standard getting it right, and that is the recipes without a shadow of a doubt. If we want change, this is what's going to happen. I want you all, by the next time I see you, to have written 3 recipes each off the menu. Happy with that? So the next time I come up, we'll have a recipe book. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is going to make us think now, definitely. We can't just sit back and let it go now.
We ain't got a leg to stand on, really, when it comes to waste and stuff like that, have we?
Feeling a bit at the moment.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just stupid mistakes we're making is costing so much money.
No, but you never,
didn't realise.
you never clock it, do you?
And I'm not wasting AP.
I've set the catering team in Birmingham a challenge to bring about change in the kitchen and also help them keep their jobs. But the problems here have made me see that improving hospital food across the whole of the UK is going to be a mammoth task. I'm going to need some backup, so I'm heading back to Scarborough, the hospital where all this began. It was a slog, but in a short time at Scarborough, we pulled off astonishing change. With the team newly fired up, we replaced packaged food with nutritious, freshly prepared dishes on the menu. Is that cooking?
No.
What do you want?
Pasta soup, I wouldn't mind doing that whatsoever.
We started buying from local suppliers, giving the local economy a boost. We hugely reduced waste, and for the first time ever, turned the restaurant into a profit-making business. And all this was done without any increase in the budget. We're getting the price of what we want it to be.
Yeah.
And it's under £3.49. I've been keeping in regular contact with catering manager Pat and her team. Today I'm back, not just to see if they've carried on the success, but also I have a favour to ask. Hello! Hello, still sat in the same place. How are you doing?
Yes.
You all right?
Yeah, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, you all right?
Oh.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hey. Well, you're all still here. Well, two of you are still here anyway. How are you doing? You all right?
Well, you know, we're well chuffed with how things have gone, really.
Well chuffed?
Well chuffed. Don't get too smug now. Don't get too smug.
Well, it was hard work, wasn't it? It was
lots of things I've got to tell you, but we've had some really good results.
Have you got a list?
I've got a list.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I've got a list.
Yeah, and what about everybody else in the kitchen? They're all happy?
They're all fine, yeah. Things have gone really, really well. Me and Sharon have come up with a new menu that we need you to peruse over.
Okay.
Because I need a couple of recipes off you.
Oh, that's fair enough. Right.
Okay.
And how's Big Bird and the rest of them?
They're okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're still here?
Yeah, we haven't had anybody leave.
Really?
No.
Okay. Have you got anybody new then?
No, but after we went out on air, people were ringing up to ask if they come and work for me.
Really?
so we can't be that bad, can we?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was lovely, actually.
Brilliant.
We even have people come in on holiday to Scarborough and come into Pat's place for a meal now. I mean,
Fantastic.
Yes, but we would have never expected that in a million years.
I would have never expected it either. It's brilliant.
Really, really nice.
So I better get changed then, aren't I, really?
You better add do.
So, back in the kitchen.
We're going to put you to work today.
Here we go, usual. When I first came to Scarborough, the feedback from the patients wasn't positive.
It's not good.
As a package, it's pretty poor.
I don't like it at all.
But what do they think of the food now?
And it was excellent. For hospital food, it's superb, really.
The food, it's been very, very nice. No complaints whatsoever. I've been here 4 times this year, and the food's improved every time I've been, really. And the soups now are brilliant.
I've heard so much about these different hospitals and the food and people nearly starving to death, but I assure you if they came in here there was no way that would happen. It's such great food.
I hope by the time I've finished in Birmingham, the patients will have the same high praise for the food. It wasn't an easy task to transform the meals at Scarborough General Hospital. There were tears and moments I felt we were never going to achieve our goals. But against all the odds, with the help of Pat and her team, the transformation was amazing. I'm curious to find out if Pat and the head chef Sharon have managed to keep things on track and on budget.
Compared to last year, the new menus haven't cost us much more than what we had before.
Sorry, what was that? What was that? You're mumbling a bit. What was that?
James, because excuse me, just because I was very strict on what I'd allow you to put on the menu, right? The menus haven't cost us much more than they did before.
Right.
But if you'd had your way totally,
right. So
it would have blown me out the window.
So how much was the budget per patient?
Last year it worked out at £3.30 per patient.
So you're 19 pence under budget?
Yeah. But at the moment...
There's always a but in there. Why can't you just go...
Well, no, it's not. But the but is, I'm still trying to get the Soil Association Award, the Bronze Award.
How far away from getting that?
I think I've just about sourced everything now.
Right.
But we haven't changed the menu to reflect that.
So we're not far off then, are we?
No.
Only 3 UK hospitals have got one of the Soil Association's prestigious Bronze Awards, which guarantees that everything on the menu is free from controversial E-numbers and that meals are freshly prepared using local produce where possible. Pat's determined to win one for Scarborough. It's also fantastic news that Scarborough's catering team is now under budget, whilst providing a higher standard of food and service. It can be done. I, as you know, have recently been to Birmingham.
Yeah.
And I'm going to list you the things here. These are genuine things. I was there 48 hours ago. They've never written a recipe. So there's no recipes. So there's no costings. So the dietitian is not looking at anything, they're guessing. There's no menu given to the patients. They don't know how many they're cooking for till 10:30, when they've got to phone up the wards. They're guessing everything. So this is where I'm going to throw a curveball to you. 12 months ago, you asked me to help you. I'm going to pull in a favour. I'm asking you for your help. And I wouldn't do it if I didn't mean it. Because I'm trying to make this work. And my goal was to roll this out. And I've suddenly realised what a massive, massive uphill struggle it's going to be. I genuinely don't know where I'm going to start. But I think I need you guys to give me some guidance, and certainly give the management team some guidance of how to at least do this menu system, because it's a disaster. look what we've turned around here, and I think as a team, we can do massive things.
James Harden, that's
Right, can I have a drink now? I'm delighted that Pat and Sharon have agreed to help with this project. I'm thinking of sending some of the team from Birmingham to meet Pat and come up with a way of implementing an ordering system. People's attitudes have changed hugely, and that comes with confidence. I think we can take a little bit of that and implement it in certainly Birmingham that I've seen. That's why I said to Pat, and you know, they've got years of experience, those two, 40 years experience between the two of them working in hospitals, and I think you know, you've got to ask for advice when you need it.
I cannot believe he's asked for my help after what he put me through last year. He's had to eat humble pie and ask me. There seems to be a lack of very basic systems, and to not have basic recipes and costings, I don't know how any catering department can survive in this day and age.
I've really got to go away and get my head round Birmingham because it's broken. I don't quite know how to fix it yet.
What he's done has been fantastic for this trust, and if he can roll it out to other trusts, then that can only be a good thing, and to put hospital food back on the map again, and I really hope he succeeds in that.
When I went to Birmingham, I never thought it would be as bad as Scarborough. I mean, with Birmingham, it's a pandemic right throughout the whole thing. I don't know where to start. And I can teach people how to cook. I can teach people how to change that in a week. But how do you make people care? You know, when you see simple things like custard being made like that, I could see it in 2 minutes. So why the hell does it take me 2 minutes to see it and not somebody who's been there 16 years? But I think if we are going to roll this out, maybe not to the extent of what I originally planned, because I thought, do you know what, we could easily roll out soups right across the NHS. That would be easy. It ain't going to be like that. It's back to Birmingham, where already I've found ways where I can bring nutritious, affordable food to the patients, and maybe even help the team keep their jobs. In charge of the kitchen is head chef Tracy, who's back from a holiday and preparing to help lead this huge challenge. How was your holiday?
Lovely, thank you.
Might need another one in a bit. I catch up with Tracy for a coffee to get her take on what's going wrong. So what would you like to see? You've got a fresh start, you've got a fresh restaurant, new kitchen. What would you like?
Just more support, really, regarding, you know, like you say, with budgets and where to get things from, and you know, everybody being happy, the whole staff, and not being criticised. It's always negative, negative, negative. We don't hear a lot of good stuff, enough good stuff. You know, and raise the morale of the team, really.
The waste was quite a big issue.
Yeah, that is a main problem, because basically we're guessing.
Why are we guessing? Why haven't you changed anything?
With regards to patients.
Yeah.
I did a year ago with my old bosses.
Yeah.
And I had some input into it.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, yourself changing a whole menu. You've got to go through the dietitian, you've got to go through the nurses, and.
But that would have been that's fine as long as there's recipes. But the guys are telling me there hasn't been any recipes. So you can't then go to a dietitian if there's no recipe. In the next week, I definitely want a cost of recipes.
Okay.
And I want to see those recipes, and I want them strictly adhered to from now on.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a recipe,
you've
got 5 chefs doing 5 different recipes.
Yeah.
They're just producing what they want. So your costs are spiralling all over the place. In my restaurant, I have a recipe, and I have a recipe for a reason.
And they have to follow it.
They have to follow it, and it works.
I know.
So, but it all comes from the top, you know what I mean? I know it comes from higher up from where you are. They need to understand the issues that you're having, but you also need to be accountable for it. So if you are over budget, the buck stops with you. I think the first meeting went well. Some positives out of it, a lot of negatives, which I was expecting anyway. You just get the feeling that she's down. The whole kitchen is just down. You get the feeling here that it's going to be even more of an uphill struggle, because even the person at the top really doesn't have any control or where they're going or want or need to be able to do it. So you're going to have to see it from a different point of view, really. Morale is a huge issue here, and one I plan to tackle. But my main priority is to start dealing with the costs and find out exactly how over budget the kitchen is and what will happen if nothing changes. I'm hoping Emma, who's head of facilities, will give me some answers. So how are we in terms of the figures? What is the rough average spend, overspend? Because there's got to be an overspend in this place per year.
At the end of month 2, so we're 2 months into the financial year, we are just short of £5,000 overspent.
What would you like to see from the kitchen to help to make your life easier, and certainly to fight your corner?
I want to try and build their passion back, the passion they had from day one after the fire.
Right.
I think there's something around the ordering system.
There's not ordering system's non-existent.
No,
really?
It's pure guesswork.
Is there a limit to what you have to spend per day? What is it, 380 odd, something like that?
It's something around that, but it's, for me,
I'm quite happy to sit in front of the board of directors and say my budget's going to go overspent because I'm getting the quality right for the patients. Because
yeah, but nobody's actually speaking to each other.
No.
You've got a kitchen creating recipes that have. Well, you can't do costings because you don't know what.
Yeah.
I mean, do you actually know what's on the menu and what they're spending per day and what the ordering system is? Or no?
They've given me a copy of a menu, but I could say. I know.
Nobody's costed it out, though.
No, it's not been costed. The dietitians looked at it and had to make rough estimates because they haven't got the recipes behind it. Where's it gone wrong? And I'll go back and ask those questions.
But there are massive issues in terms of the ward.
Yeah.
Now, I can't see that there's been an issue with going back to what was on before, this menu system.
Mm-hmm.
We're now on a different system, which to me is just, I mean, it's heading straight to the cook chill.
Yeah.
I get the feeling, I'll be honest with you, they've been treated like a dog that you kick all the time. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
You kick it. One time it's going to turn around and bite at you, or it's just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the feeling the confidence in the kitchen and the confidence in the team is probably the lowest I've ever seen in the kitchen.
Yeah.
99% of my job here, I'm going to find that it's changing people's attitudes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're at the lowest ebb, I'll be honest with you. I know it's going to be tough for the team to face up to these problems, but their jobs are on the line, so the stakes are high. To bring about change here and potentially other hospital trusts, I've identified some key objectives. Reduce waste. Improve staff morale. Use fresh ingredients supplied by local producers whilst keeping to a budget. So far, I've asked the team to write down their recipes, putting down in a book the quantities and cooking times they all have to follow. It's the first step towards putting systems in place to bring down that huge amount of waste. But already, it doesn't look like they're doing it. What do you cook that for?
About 40 minutes.
About
40 minutes. When it's done.
Is it in here?
A piece of chicken might not cook.
Why is it not in here?
To cook roast chicken?
Yep.
Well, it's not really a recipe.
You said about, right.
I need to
prove
follow.
to you. How long do you reckon that takes to cook?
About 40 minutes.
At what temperature?
At 175.
175,
Yeah.
40 minutes. That's how long you reckon?
I reckon so.
I'll show you the importance of this. Vic, how long would you cook that for on what temperature?
About 45 minutes, 170.
45 minutes. You give it how long? 40 minutes? Why is it not in here?
It's not a recipe.
No. Right. It's in here from now on. Every single thing that you do, even if it's boiling veg, is in here. It's not good saying about, it's about everything. Everything in there needs to be in here. Hey, everything is in this book.
Okay.
Right? If it's not in this book, you're not cooking it. All right?
James, would you... I know when things are cooked. I've got a probe.
That's fine. But if we're going to progress forward, then we have to work together as a team. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
About's not good enough.
But what I'm saying is, if one wasn't there, and the other was, they're not going to...
Right. You're saying that it takes 40 minutes. You're saying it takes 45 minutes. The next person who walks out that door will say another temperature another time. So put it in the book. And you're not listening to me.
I don't really like the sound.
Well, I'm trying to speak to you.
Yeah, I understand, but you're talking to me as if I don't know what I'm on about. Or I know you've got a lot more experience than what I have. But to cook a chicken breast, it's only a couple of degrees different and a few minutes difference. And you kind of implying that one won't know how to do it, the way another one knows how to do it. But we all know it comes and goes pretty all right.
Can I say exactly the same thing about custard? We all know how to make custard, don't we?
Yeah.
Why don't you make anything out?
Because I don't know how many people it's going to start.
Do you have a recipe for 10 litres of custard?
Not in there. I'm not going to stand there and you speak to me like that. It's unbelievable. It's all in our heads. You know, they're our recipes. It's what we do.
So annoying.
James there just mentioned custard. That's going to be one of them things that's going to be stuck in my life forever now.
His attitude stinks.
I've always found it hard, someone kind of being in my face saying, that's how you do it, when I've got my own way of doing it, you know.
Stinks. I hate losing my cool, and I know Gaz is as keen as I am to see things improve. But if they can't even get the basics right, I'm worried it won't happen. I'm annoyed with myself because I don't normally do that, but this is the whole thing about this, is that you can't change anything unless they're prepared to do it themselves, and he just can't be bothered. Just doesn't give a damn what I say. Just doesn't give a damn. He knows best, and that's it. Stuff everybody else. Well, fine. See you on the dole queue. Next time, the pressure builds in Birmingham. At the moment, you are 100% to blame. You are constantly making my life difficult. You have to help me. These are the blatant facts. If this doesn't work, you're all out of a job. And if I'm going to have any hope of transforming food at other hospitals as well, I can't do it alone. So I've decided to call for backup from some world-class culinary stars. Right, gather round. Here's the bomb that I'm about to drop on you. I need you guys. Because I suddenly realised, having been to Birmingham, I can't do it on my own. I just want you on board first.